believe it, y'all. My producer has the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have not won a championship since 2018.
2016.
It says 2018 on there.
2018 Eastern Conference champions. You want to get this video shot or not?
All right.
From the scenes to rapping yo.
Shut up!
What was it? From the screens to in your sound waves.
Okay, you can't even say the intro right, so you can't even say it.
Look at you, look at Granny's purse.
Shut up!
Ah! Assault!
Assault!
They're a Black History buff.
I'm black too!
Barely. Bruh. I'm not playing these games.
From the screens to all up in your sound waves, welcome back to a brand new conversation here at the Palace of the People's Princess Podcast, the only home for those intimate and intentional conversations designed to make you feel like royalty. I'm your host, Amaya Kai, and I'm so excited to have you all here. Whether if you are new or returning, welcome back to the Palace. I'm so grateful that you all chose P3. And if you enjoy this conversation, be sure to leave us a review, star it, whatever it is, make sure we receive it. But by the day y'all seeing this, happy Valentine's Day. And I know what y'all thinking. Valentine's Day is only for the couples. It's actually not, surprisingly. It could be for your best friend, your homegirl, your homeboy. Heck, even my parents give me gifts. Shout out to my mom and dad, by the way. And they actually got me a package, so y'all might be seeing me open it up later. But as you all know, Valentine's Day is one of the most popular and expensive holidays in the United States to date. Matter of fact, it surrounds Saint Valentine, who literally wrote love letters in jail. That's crazy. But knowing me, I love to just kind of look behind the history and most importantly, see how these things come to light. So what I decided to do as the biology major in me, I wanted to look up some statistics about Valentine's Day. And in 2022, Americans have spent almost $24 billion on Valentine's Day gifts, which was the second highest amount since 2007. Now, in 2025, the total spending was projected to be, and I'm going to let it sit, $27.5 billion. That's a lot of money. Whether if you're using your refund check, your paycheck, silence money check, that's still a lot of money to spend. I mean, come on now. But honestly, like I said, Valentine's Day is one of the most expensive holidays. But at the same time, a lot of couples don't even make it to Valentine's Day. So today's conversation will be entitled, If I Could Build a Better, y'all know what it is. But I realized in life, sometimes, even if you try to build something, it may not be exactly what you want. The inspiration behind today's conversation came from a song that I heard a couple years ago, which was Built by Justine Skye, which is also an underrated song by her. And if y'all never heard that song, go ahead and listen to it. And of course, I have to go pull up the lyrics to it. So y'all can go ahead and listen to it on the side. And Justine Skye, if you're watching this, I love you. So this part was actually my favorite though. It says, if I could build really build he'd probably look a little bit better than you and be a couple inches bigger. If I could build a man, really build a man, he'd be smart enough to read my mind when I'm hard to understand. So what I kind of took from the song is she's in a relationship and she's going through, of course, as everybody faces, problems in a relationship. And there are some things that are bothering her, and she's saying, if I could build a whole better man that models after you but is 10 times better, I'd be straight. And considering my own experiences in love, I could feel that. Although I haven't had a real boyfriend in ever. And especially growing up as a little girl, I wasn't really the type of attractive definition of a female. And honestly, it still hurts to this day because you always hear your parents saying, oh my gosh, you're always going to be beautiful, you're pretty, but then when you go somewhere else that isn't your home, you hear something different. And honestly, like genuinely, it sucks because you think one thing, but everybody else thinks something else of you. And I know I said that, but I just had to let that sit because everybody experiences those unpretty moments. They see those girls on Instagram and vice versa for guys. They see somebody that they look up to and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to look like them. I want to be like them. But we always can because let's face it, we're never going to. And I'm going to tell you guys a little funny story. Don't laugh at me. Like I said, growing up, I wasn't really the attractive girl. I always was pretty to some people, but not always to everyone. Heck, I even thought some girls were prettier than me. It was Valentine's Day in 5th grade, and this boy, I guess, liked me for a minute, but I didn't really know. I kind of like had a small crush on him, like a little innocent crush. He was like, oh, he's cute. But mind you, I didn't know what exactly a boyfriend was really. And it was Valentine's Day, and y'all already know. During Valentine's Day in elementary school, all the kids had like different Valentine's Day cards and bags to go give everybody. I believe I had a Tinkerbell card set, actually. It's actually my house in Chicago, but when I find a picture of it, I will put it in here so y'all can see exactly what they look like because A, it's nostalgia, and B, they were some really cute cards. So shout out to my mom for that. So after we went to pick out the cards, I was writing everybody's name down, and I remember my friends were like, I guess they were trying to pull something, and they forged my name on a Valentine's Day card and gave it to him because it was only for my class, I want to say. And once they gave it to him, mind y'all, I didn't even see this. So once they gave him the card, I guess from what they told me, he kissed the card and ran like real excited. I'm like, did y'all really just do that? They're like, yeah, girl. I was like, there's no way. And I remember my mom came to school that day too. I guess she was doing something for my little sister. I don't really know. But after that, we're going somewhere in school, and all of a sudden, I see somebody say, "Aww." Mind y'all, I'm thinking it's at the end of the hallway. But it wasn't. I see the boy walking towards me with chocolates in a heart-shaped box, but it wasn't really like actual chocolate. It was like the chocolate they were selling at school, and a flower that was dead. And it was a really sweet gesture, but me being almost 10 years old, I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, who this for? This ain't for me, because like I said, I wasn't liked by anybody, although I liked people. And y'all, I still feel very bad because I didn't think, it was going to be something serious, but at the end of the day, that could have been my future boyfriend, that could have been my future husband, but hey, he didn't. And he actually ended up to be a total jerk because people were hyping him up to do that. So long story short, it was a prank. It was a prank, guys. And another funny story. Going into high school, I wasn't really seeing until my sophomore year because, of course, it was COVID. And it's always just that high school glow up. And I had one. Everybody ended up looking like, oh my gosh, who is that? Is that Amaya? Like, she looked good. Even in college now, I wasn't expecting to see a lot of people like me. Because it's like everywhere I go, they be like, oh my gosh, you bad. Let me get your Instagram, see what you want. Da 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 da. I don't want you. I don't want you. If you're saying this, repeat after me. I don't want you. Simple, right? A lot of guys don't get it, which is unfortunate. But one thing I do have to realize is a lot of guys don't even have real intentions on loving you. They only see you for lust. Trust me, I know. I've had a lot of messages over the course of the years where a lot of guys will only text me and be like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Can we? You know the rest. And it's like, I don't want that. And going into my relationship with God, I had to learn what exactly love truly meant. So I remember going to church the other day, and of course, y'all know me, I'm always going to pull up a Bible verse. And the most popular one that everybody uses is this. And this is from 1 Corinthians 13. And it goes all the way to where I want to stop at 8. So it reads as this. If I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move mountains but didn't love others, I would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. And it keeps no record of being wrong. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith. Is always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. Prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will become useless, but love will last forever. Now our knowledge is partial and incomplete. Even the gift of prophecy reveals only part of the truth. So, after kind of reading that, with that being so popular and with me hearing in the church, it just confirms that God should always be the center of our relationships. And you always have to evaluate whether if it's your partner, somebody that you're looking to talk to, or even just somebody that you like. Because sometimes, I'm going to give you guys a secret. Not every man has to love you. Not every man needs to love you. Because at the end of the day, if God does not want you with that guy in that specific season that you're in, you're only going to go downhill and build yourself a bottomless pit. So, I'm here to tell you, if you are in a relationship that is not for you, and you know it's not for you, but you keep doing it because of the lust, pray over it. I know you love him. I do. But at the same time, it might not be for you. And I'm only saying that because it just came to my head. You need to be able to understand who God is before you're able to be sent to a relationship. And I remember telling one of my friends this, because at the end of the day, you can find somebody who's rich. You can find somebody who got everything in the world, but if they don't know how to pray for you, if they don't know how to take care of your heart, and most importantly, if they don't know how to intercede when you're away, and most importantly, learn how to keep all of your secrets to them, then that ain't love. That's just a friend that's just staying there on the lease, but doesn't know how to be in a relationship. You trying to go be with a man, and vice versa for men as well with their girlfriends. You're trying to be with a man or a woman that says, oh, I have this much money, but is secretly bankrupt. You're trying to build these relationships with people that don't even know how to hold a Bible, don't even know how to read a simple verse, and yet you still want them because of their... I'm being so serious, but I want it to click in your head. I've been lusted over a lot. And it's sad, I know. But even in college, it can kind of get difficult because we always see everybody like, oh my gosh, this is what love looks like, especially with social media, which is also the downfall of our relationships. Because we always see social media giving us these big expectations of what love looks like and how it should be. But at the same time, we should be able to find out the spiritual standpoint of love before it manifests in the physical. And also, most importantly, with intimacy as well. And a lot of guys, when they ask me, how do I feel about intimacy? I tell them this. If we're not able to connect on a spiritual level, then there's no reason for me to be intimate with you. Because although intimacy can seem physical in one way, it's both physical and spiritual. Because at the end of the day, soul ties are real. You heard it here first. And although you might not believe in it, just look it up. And this also comes from an example of one of the most fun movies I've ever seen in the world. And this is How to Build a Better Boy. That was on Disney, like I want to say a couple years ago. And it's about these two best friends. And the best friend, I want to say, I don't know her name at all. I think it was Gabby. She said, I kind of feel lonely. Let me go build a robot. So she uses her dad's technology to like build this guy. Which also connects back to the song because she's building a guy herself. So the guy actually comes to life. And he's just like this perfect guy. He brings flowers. He takes her everywhere. He makes sure that she's okay. And I remember looking at that movie like, dang, I want a guy like that. But also at the same time, it did kind of teach me, if you are not okay with yourself, if you do not have a relationship with God, then you can't love how he wants you to love. Because also, like the Bible tells us, God is love. And if we don't love like God loves, then we're not doing it right. So, if there's anything that I want you to take away from this, know these top 5 things. 1, you are worthy and deserving of love. 2, build a relationship with God before you get into that relationship. It's worth it. 3, evaluate the man or woman because you never know. Like, think of it as a background check. Check every box. 4, just don't let anybody in your love life. And 5, if God is not in the center of your relationship, reevaluate it again. But all in all, guys, spend your Valentine's Day with the right person. Even if that's with yourself or with God or your parents. Somebody will be there to love you. Trust me. That love that you're looking for will come. But you have to be patient. And when God sees it, he'll send it to you. And it will be absolutely perfect. This episode was truly a lot to unpack because I was kind of going through my own situations with love, but it felt good to get it out. So I truly am very thankful for each and every one of you all who have listened to this conversation and even got something out of it today. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. And if you are listening to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, please make sure to share this episode. Rate us. Hopefully it's 5 stars. But if it's not, that's okay. Give us all constructive criticism. And of course, follow us on all social media platforms at People's Princess Podcast. And for Twitter, P3_podcast. And last but certainly not the least, if you are looking forward to being on this podcast, please go onto my Instagram where all of the links will be there. And I'll be giving out a few little tips on how to exactly get on the show. Everybody is welcome. Until the next time I see you all at the Palace, I am your host, Amaya Kai, the People's Princess, the Chicago Cinderella. And most importantly, one last thing. If you or a loved one is suffering with anything, please make sure to call 988. It's very serious. And we need you here. Also, as always, free Palestine, free Syria, free Congo. So many countries are in genocide right now. It's very important that we look out for them. And also, happy Black History Month. Yeah. I feel like this is a good Black History Month so far, so we're gonna make sure we do it good. But and also support all Black businesses and Black media beyond Black History Month. Until next time at the Palace, this is the People's Princess Podcast, the only home for those intimate and intentional conversations designed to make you feel like royalty. Shot by Cottonhead Productions, and we will see you all next time. Bye.